This next section is 3.3, slope of a line and rate of change. Question number 1 says to determine the pitch or slope of the roof. Okay, when we're finding slope, we're always going to pick one point. Actually, we need to pick 2 points. And then we're going to either go up and down and then right or left. So the slope is the change in the y over the change in the x. So if we start at this point, we're going to go up and then we're going to go right. So we're going to go up 5 and right 20. We're going to go up 5 and right 20. So the slope in simplest form, 5 divided by 20 as a fraction is 1/4. The slope of the roof is 1/4. Number 2 says find the slope of the stairs. Write the answer in simplest form. Okay, so from this point to this point, I'm going to go up 12 and right 60. So my slope is going to be 12 over 60. Up 12, right 60. In simplest form, 12 divided by 60 as a fraction is 1/5. Actually, I'm just going to put it down here. So my slope is 1/5. Number 3, determine the slope by using the slope formula in any 2 points on the line. Check by drawing a right triangle and labeling rise over run. So I'm going to pick the point -2, -2, and the point 4, 1. Okay, my slope formula says slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Okay, here we go. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, on my calculator, I'm going to type it in just like it looks. So I need to go do a fraction. I'm going to type 1 minus parenthesis -2, 1 minus -2 over 4 minus -2. 4 minus parenthesis -2. 1/2. My slope is 1/2. Now, if I did a triangle, I would need to go up, what is that, 3? 1, 2, 3. Yep. Up 3 and over 6. Up 3 over 6. My slope, if I do the triangle and find rise over run, my slope is 1/2. And I'm glad that those slopes were the same. They should be. Number 4, let's go do the same thing. My point 0, 1, and let's use the point 2, 0. Using my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. On my calculator, if I do a fraction, I want to do 0 minus 1 over 2 minus 0. I get negative 1/2. Now if I do the triangle, starting here, I'm going to go up 2. Now I'm going to go left. Sorry, I went up 1. Sorry about that. I went up 1. I'm going to go left 2. Up 1, left 2. So left means negative, right? Up 1, left 2. My slope is negative 1/2. Slope is negative 1/2. Number 5. Let's go do it again. Let's start. Pick this point and maybe that point. So what is that? Negative 2, 3. And 1, negative 3. If I use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Type it in on my calculator. Alpha y equals number 1 for a fraction. Negative 3 minus 3. Negative 3 minus 3 over 1 minus negative 2. 1 minus negative 2. My slope is negative 2. Now, if I use my rise over run, you can either go up and left, or watch this. I'm going to say that my slope is, I'm going to go down. How many do I go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So down 6 and right 3. Down 6, right 3 gives me a slope of negative 2. Let's do another set of points. Let's go from this point to say this point. I would go up. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4 and then left 2. So negative 2. Up 4, left 2 gives me a slope of negative 2. No matter what point you pick, no matter if you go up, then left and right, or if you go down and then left or right, the slope for this number is always, or this line is always negative 2. Okay, number 6. Now they're just going to give you the point. So now we have to use our formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So on my calculator, here comes the fraction. 0 minus 6 over negative 10 minus negative 3. Negative 10 minus negative 3. My slope, oh, hold on. I accidentally had a 4 there, so hold on. Let me go get rid of that 4. 0 minus 6 over negative 10 minus negative 3 gives me 6/7. Number 7. Here we go. Slope is y2, negative 5, minus y1, 4, over x2, negative 4, minus x1, negative 4. On your calculator, negative 5 minus 4 is in the numerator. And in the denominator, we have negative 4 minus negative 4. Negative 4 minus, parenthesis, negative 4. Uh-oh, it tells us we can't divide by 0. So we would get negative 9 over 0. Can't do that. So we're going to say that our slope is undefined. It's undefined. If we were to plot those 2 points, we would go plot -4, 4, and -4, -5. Look at what kind of line that is. That's a vertical line. Vertical lines, we're going to say, have undefined slope because you can't divide by 0. All right, number 8. We're going to have decimals, but who cares? Still use the same formula. 0 minus -3.5 over -3.2 minus 3.8. Your calculator can handle that just fine. Here comes the fraction. We're going to do 0 minus -3.5, 0 minus -3.5 over -3.2 minus 3.8. -3.2 minus 3.8. We get -0.5. I don't like decimals for slope. I'd rather see that like this, -1/2. Your calculators first spit out -0.5, and I changed that to a fraction of -1/2. Okay, number 9. The slope of a line is m equals -4. Determine the slope of a line parallel to the line with a given slope, and determine the slope of a line perpendicular to the line with a given slope. First of all, we need to know what parallel and perpendicular lines are. Parallel lines are lines that never intersect. So if you have parallel lines, the slopes are going to be the same. Parallel lines have same slope. So what's the slope of the parallel line? Sorry, what's the slope of a line that's parallel to the line with slope -4? It would also have slope -4. Now, perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines intersect at a 90-degree angle. That's what perpendicular means. And perpendicular lines, their slopes are negative reciprocals. Slopes are negative reciprocals, meaning if the slope of one line is -4, then the slope of the perpendicular line would be positive 1/4. So the slope of the perpendicular line is positive 1/4. Let's do another example of perpendicular slopes. If the slope of a given line was, say, 2/3, the slope of the perpendicular line would be -3/2. That's what negative reciprocals mean. You put a negative and then you reciprocate it. You flip it. Number 10. The slope of a line is 0. Those are special lines. The slope of a horizontal line has slope 0. So our line is horizontal. Determine the slope of a line that's parallel to the given line. All right, so the line we want is parallel, so it too will have slope 0. Parallel line had slope 0 as well. But perpendicular line, it would look like this, right? It would be a vertical line. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. All right, let M1 and M2 represent slopes of two lines. Determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, for parallel, they have to be the same slope. M1 would have to equal M2, right, to be parallel. To be perpendicular, M1 would have to equal negative 1 over M2. They'd have to be negative reciprocals. So let's go look. M1 is 1/2. M2 is negative 2. Wait a minute. 1/2 and negative 2 over 1. Those are negative reciprocals, right? So these two lines would be perpendicular. Number 12. Find the slopes of lines L1 and L2 defined by the given points. Then determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, for L1, the slope of line 1 would be negative 1 minus negative 4 over 7 minus 4, which would be, let's see, negative 1 minus negative 4. Negative 1 minus negative 4 over 7 minus 4. I get 1. Okay, the slope of line 2 would be 3 minus negative 1 over 6 minus 2. Here we go. 3 minus negative 1 over, 3 minus negative 1 over 6 minus 2. I get 1. The slope of line 1 is 1, and the slope of line 2 is 1. These are the same slope. Those lines have the same slope, so they must be parallel. The slope of line L1 is 1. The slope of line L2 is 1. So the lines must be parallel.